Well, welcome back to the Oliver Arch channel. I'm glad you're stopped by for a few moments. Hope you're having a fine day. Today we're going to do a project to show you a great replacement for this sandpaper using this a simple piece of steel. Before I go into that, just with the COVID-19 and the coronavirus, a lot of folks are being sort of forced to stay home and change their routine, and that's a good thing. So during this time, I hope you're spending time in the shop or doing some hobbies that you love or fixing up your house, but most importantly, let's make sure we're taking care of our families. And on top of that, you probably have people in your life, maybe the elderly or seniors, who are kind of sitting at home alone quite a bit. So make sure you reach out to those folks and take care of them as well. Well, today in the video, a lot of woodworkers go out and they buy, well, a lot of DIYers go out and they buy sandpaper. And this is 3 different grits of sandpaper here, some 150, I think some 100, and maybe some 220. Sandpaper can be kind of expensive, good paper can. And really, a lot of things you use sandpaper for, you can replace simply with a little piece of carbon steel, a little piece of metal. This is called a cabinet scraper. And today I'm going to show you how to use one, how to sharpen one, and why it's a good alternative to spending money on sandpaper. A lot of folks who are like DIYers or not professional woodworkers or whatever have never even heard of this or seen this. It's kind of an old tool, and it's the most simple, most effective tool there is for getting a nice smooth finish to a piece of wood. So we're going to head over to the workbench and I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. So let's talk about what we're doing here. I mentioned a moment ago, we're going to talk about cabinet scrapers versus sandpaper. These are 3 cabinet scrapers that I got from Amazon from a company called Deadwood. And they're only about $13, $14, $15. And it's a tool that will literally last you a lifetime if you take care of it. Sandpaper, you buy it, you got to throw it away. You use it, you use more of it, you're throwing things away. For what this costs that can last a lifetime, this might get you 1 or 2 packs of good quality sandpaper. What's really good about this scraper as well, these cabinet scrapers as they're called, is that you can make your own. Go down to the hardware store, get you some carbon steel, thin steel, and cut it, and then finish the edge, which I'll show you here in a moment, and have at it. So I'm going to show you how good these work. With sandpaper, you sit here, you've got your fingers, or you got a sanding block, and you're going back and forth. And this is pretty rough, bandsaw cut mahogany, and it's tedious. It's a long time. But I can take my scraper here, and very easily, by taking my 2 fingers, you bend it slightly, let me sharpen this clamp up here a little bit, draw it toward you, and get a pretty smooth finish pretty quickly. All right, now this is hard mahogany, so I can do either edge I want. I can go down here. If I go down to my edge here, as you can see as I'm pulling this, now what I'm getting, look at there, are nice little shavings. And the more you go, the smoother it gets. Okay, and this is a lot better in the shop. Sandpaper puts dust everywhere. I gotta have a vacuum system hooked up. I've got to wear a respirator. But with this, I'm getting nice little shavings that I can just simply sweep off my hand, throw in the trash, and I'm done. Okay, so great, amazing tool to have, and it's just so simple. It's kind of an old school thing also, if you think about it. I mean, sandpaper hasn't always been around. These have been around a lot longer, and they work. So you also have a concave, convex one, and what that is for, if you're doing, for example, let's say pieces that have a curve to it or something, same thing, take that beveled edge. As you can see, I can scrape that and get a great finish without using any sandpaper whatsoever. And I'm down to a similar finish of what a 220 grit of paper would do. Now, another great thing these scrapers are for, and the last thing I'll show you how to use one, is we restore a lot of old furniture, a lot of antique pieces, and antique furniture tends to have bad finishes on them. Old lacquers, old shellacs, maybe somebody put some polyurethane at some time on them, and old stain. So I can take furniture stripper, pour this on a piece of furniture, deal with the chemicals, deal with the gloves, deal with this bad stuff in the air, or I can take my scraper and simply scrape off that stain. Look how easy that stain comes off. In a few short passes, look at there. And this is on hard oak. I've got the finish off. And I honestly haven't breathed in anything that's toxic, nor have I put dust everywhere. So, great, amazing little tool to have. Now the question is though, that little beveled edge won't last forever, because the way a cabinet scraper, how it works is, it's flat on the top, and you've got this little micro bevel go come across like a little lip, like a little knife that cuts the wood. So you have to take care of that. One thing you want to do is keep your tools in, kind of a dry place and keep them from getting corroded. But you put the scraper, a little vise like this, take a fine file, and all you have to do to maintain that edge is go across the top a few times with the file, keeping it perpendicular. Then take a knife steel like this and go across to bend that lip over. What I'm doing, I'm pushing that metal lip over to the edge. I've got a nice bevel developing there. Going all the way down. And then when I'm done, grab a little piece of wood and let's just test it. And yep, still cutting amazing. So here's a lesson. For less than 15 bucks, or actually if I was to go out and just buy some steel and cut it myself, or buy pieces this size and do the beveled edge, probably a couple of dollars, you can have a tool that you can put in your tool bag, take with you if you're doing jobs somewhere, along with your file, and never be running out buying sandpaper. Now I still use sandpaper. There's a place for it when it comes to refinishing and sanding between coats and those type of things. But for 90+% of the sanding or the surface prep that I need to do in the shop, this works, and this works well. So again, hopefully you learned something. And thanks for watching the channel. And please like and subscribe. Click the little thumbs up thing at the bottom. And click the bell for notifications. And there'll be some more content coming soon. And I hope all y'all have a fine day. And be careful and be safe. Thanks for watching.